All right, this morning we're going to talk about how to count the number of procedures, tables, and or views. And this was a question I got asked yesterday. And it's very similar to the previous video where we were getting the names of all the tables in the database. The difference is we're going to be using the function count. And that's the only real difference here. So really fast, let's just go ahead and give the quick answer. When it comes to for procedures, we're going to look for the count of the name, and I'm using the name. You could actually technically use any column really. And I'm just going to copy and paste this, and we'll do views. So let's count the name of count the number of procedures, let's count the number of tables, and let's count the number of views. Now, I want to compare this side by side because you will see occasionally people will do this. And they'll be like table name. So by the way, that was the answer. And they'll be like from information schema dot tables. And let's compare these side by side. You'll notice they do not agree. Now, again, if you saw yesterday's video where we were talking about the names of all the tables, you will know that this one right here includes views. I do not see any point of going here whatsoever when you have this, and you have this, and you have this. This right here is, this information schema is redundant. You can use this, and then you can put a filter on it, and that's usually what you'll see. You then need to put a where clause here. But you already have these three views right here that will give you your information. So, that's, like I said, it's one of those things where I don't have any need to access the information schema in this case. You can, but again, you'll have to learn a step further as far as how to filter it out correctly. The other thing too as well is if you want to count the number of procedures, let's see, with the count operator, let's suppose we say where the name is like, which is what happened yesterday, we wanted to filter out a few results. Let's say where the name is like level, so it has level in it, and then we could do count name, and you can apply a filter on a count operator. So you could also use a count for anything that you're trying to count. If you're trying to count the number of columns that have 1 in it, you would count the column and then you would do where column equals 1. And as you can see, that's actually fairly simple. You're just going to count from sys.procedures, count from sys.tables, or count from sys.views, and I use the name column. You could, again, if we go back really fast, you could use some other column, but for me it's much faster to just go ahead and use the name. You'll also notice too with these views really quickly, like sys.procedures, and I happen to know like this is tables and this is views, this applies as well. These are all of ours. We don't get any of Microsoft's. I've seen some people do, for instance, select star from sys.objects, and then they'll put on the where clause a table. You have to be careful because if you look at this column right here, this also will include some of what Microsoft shipped. So you can see these objects, these are sys objects, and you want to be careful. If you use sys objects for counting anything, just make sure that you don't that you filter it correctly. So for instance, sys objects where type equals, and it looks like user table is going to filter, let's see if that does, 28 rows. Yeah, that will filter out your tables. And the same is true with like procedures or whatnot. You want to make sure that you're not including any system object like SQL stored procedure you can see here, and that way you filter it out. Otherwise, as I said earlier, it's just faster to just go ahead and access the sys.procedures, sys.tables, or sys.views.